رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Inshallah, in today's talk, it will be a short, quick talk, but from a story of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh, an incident that happened in his lifetime, and that incident, and like these incidents, many of them happened in the time of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh. And the incident I'm referring to is one of the incidents from his life when he was the Khalifa after Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, and he used to patrol in the streets of Medina. And many of the stories of his patrolling in Medina are known, and the one I am talking about we may have heard in the past, but I'd like to discuss it from an angle, inshallah. It will be beneficial for me and all of us who are listening, inshallah. The story goes as reported by the Mawla of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh. Mawla meaning the freed slave of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh. And along with Umar bin Khattab, as usual patrol that he used to do during the nights when Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh was the Khalifa. And when I'm talking about this, let's not forget the kind of a land Umar radiallahu anh was ruling over. He was the ruler of the Muslim land at that time. Those two superpowers, Romans and Persians, they used to be scared of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh. Even though they started off from the barren land of Jaziratul Arab, Arabian Peninsula. But they achieved so much so quickly because of only one reason: the reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and doing what Allah Azza wa Jal commanded them to do. And what we see in this story is, he was with Aslam and walking on the street. As Aslam reported, he said, Umar went out to Haratul Waqim and I went with him. When we were in Sarar, we saw a fire burning from far. Umar's response to Aslam was, seems like there are some travelers who are stranded there. Let's go and see what they are doing. He went close to them and he saw there's a fire on which there was a pot and a woman was sitting next to it. And there's some children around her who were crying. Umar went to her and he said, Assalamu alaikum, ya Ahl al-Daw. He did not say Ahl al-Nar, because Ahl al-Nar can have other meaning. So he said, peace be unto you, the people of light. And she replied, if you are coming near to me with good intentions, you are welcome. Otherwise, go away. One thing to remember here, she did not recognize Umar bin Khattab who he was. Amir al-Mu'mineen, the leader of the believers. And when he got closer, said salam to her, and he asked, why the children are crying? Her response was, because they are hungry. And she has nothing to feed them. What's in the pot is just water. She's boiling the water so the kids have hope the food is getting ready, and they will cry out and they will fall asleep because of tiredness. Subhanallah. And then she continued on. A statement she made that's a great reminder for all of us here and all the hukam of the Muslim lands specifically. She said that on the day of judgment, Allah will judge between us and Umar. Allah will judge between us and Umar. And Umar said, how would Umar know? He did not want to disclose himself. This is Amir al-Mu'mineen talking to her. How would Umar know that you are in this state? And her response, subhanallah, and that shows how learned the subject of the Muslim leaders were at that time, and so were the leaders. Her response was that when you took this job of being, or the Amir al-Mu'mineen, not Umar, not him, when Umar took this job to be the leader of ours, then now it's on his neck to find out how we are doing. Subhanallah. And upon hearing this, Umar right away charged towards Baytul Mal. He went to the treasury and he took wheat in a bag, put on his shoulder, and took some fat. And now he's walking towards the woman again, running towards the woman again. Aslam, the Mawla, freed slave of Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anh, he said, Ya Umar, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, let me carry this burden. And subhanallah, what a statement from Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anh. He said, will you carry my burden on the day of judgment? This is how he understood, Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anh, that it is his burden that this woman has to be taken care of. Every single individual subject under the Amir al-Mu'mineen has to be taken care by the leader at that time. And he understood that this is why Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh was pushed to go and walk in the streets in the night in the Medina to find out how the Ummah was doing at that time. Because he understood well that his responsibility is not just to make sure that the society has enough to eat as a whole. Rather, his responsibility is every individual who is the subject of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anh, his needs have been taken care of. Subhanallah. And then he did not stop there. He brought the food. And then he started preparing the fire for the food. And he gave the food to the woman and said, prepare the food while he's preparing the fire. And Aslam says, he was blowing air into the fire and he could see the smoke is coming through the beard of Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anh. And then, when the fire was up, he took the prepared food and put it on the fire, cooked it, and then he spread it. He asked for the woman, give something to put the food on, and they spread the food, cooled down so kids can eat. Now kids start eating the food. Umar went away, continued to watch while they are getting fed. And once they were full, they ate, they start playing. No more crying going on. They start wrestling, they got tired and they fell asleep. And now Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anh, he wanted to move away. And then he went to the woman and said that tomorrow go to Amir al-Mu'mineen and meet him in the morning. And she said, one of the statements she said, that you are more deserving to be Amir al-Mu'mineen than Umar al-Khattab. She's talking to Umar, subhanallah. You are more deserving to be the Amir al-Mu'mineen than Umar. And Umar said, go in the morning and you will find me. When you go to meet Amir al-Mu'mineen, you will find me there. He still did not want to disclose. And subhanallah, this is one of the key things here. He did not want to disclose as if he has done a favor to her. And she will be thanking to him or something. He's not the one who said, oh, get the photographers and let me take a photo with him, photo op time. And then so we can publish it on the Twitter or the Facebook or this or that. Rather, he said, he wanted to show, to make sure that he is fulfilling his responsibility and ask her to come there. Now, let's not forget that who Umar bin Khattab was. Look, these Romans and Persians used to be scared of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anh. Now, why am I bringing this story up today? Even though we're going in chronological order, I wanted to talk about that for multiple reasons. Key reason for me, and I used this very same example in the khutbah yesterday as well in a different masjid. The key reason is to understand, look, what's happening in Gaza today and rest of the Muslim world and in the world at large, the mankind is going through misery. This is the first time in the history of mankind that we know of that people are watching the genocide is going on. Watching how the genocide is going on. How many people have been killed? When the first hospital was destroyed, oh, they were talking about who did that. It's not the Zionist state, somebody else did that. Now 36 hospitals that were there in Gaza. All of them are either completely destroyed or partially destroyed. And nobody is talking about that anymore. Now, a question and something for us to think about. What is for me to hear to think about? Yes, we are not Amir al-Mu'mineen, I understand that. But don't forget that. When we are talking about reviving legends, we are not talking about Allah Azza wa Jal is going to give the rebirth of Umar bin Khattab. Umar is returning back from his grave. The thing that made Umar bin Khattab as Al-Faruq was something that Allah has taken the responsibility to be protected. Inna nahnu nazalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. We have revealed this dhikr, this book, this Quran, this sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the form of hadith. Allah has taken the responsibility that He's the one for sure who revealed that, and He is the one who will protect it. So the thing that made Umar bin Khattab into Al-Faruq, that idea, those ideas, the wahi still exist. The wahi that transformed Umar from a person who used to be the one who used to beat up his female slave because she converted to Islam. And he would get tired of beating her up. In the days of Jahiliyyah, it is the same Umar. In the days of Jahiliyyah, he was on his way to even kill Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Isn't that the one we talked about in the past? That's the same Umar bin Khattab. And now today he is worried about every individual of his state. To the point, the other reports talk about that he even said, if there is a baby goat, and different reports talk about dog even or whatever, if it strips by the river of the Dajla, Allah Azza wa Jal will hold Umar accountable why Umar did not pave the path for it. That's what Islam does to the people. This is how the legends are born, when the Islam is taken the way it's supposed to be taken. When Islam is not only taken the way it's supposed to be taken, it's to be established the way it's supposed to be established. So now, think of it. Today, at that day, Umar was worried about every individual. And today we see, we are 55 plus states. There are rulers over there. They're watching what's happening to our brothers and sisters. Even children, babies. Subhanallah. This is the day we have to see, we are the people whose heroes are people like Umar al-Khattab, people like Abu Bakr, people like Uthman, Ali, and our Qudwa is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Is that the day we have to see? The only way for us to return back to the state the Muslim Ummah was, we have to return back to Islam. We have to return back to Islam the way Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave it to us. And that has to be taken in a comprehensive way, not in parts and bits, not in a manner that in the masjid or in our houses or our individual life we remember Islam all the time. The moment it comes to a political life, our social life, economic life, we forget about Islam. No, Islam has to be taken in a comprehensive manner, has to be implemented in a comprehensive manner, and then not only the Muslim Ummah, but the whole world will really see the mercy for the mankind. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have not sent you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but mercy to the mankind. So my brothers and sisters, the idea only today I want to bring up, as I said, it will be a short talk, is to remember that when we are talking about the issue of Gaza, there are people, including us, we are all accountable, who are watching what's happening. Yes, different people may have different roles, but we have to really go back and see what is our role on the individual level, and the people who have Allah given the authority and power, what is their role to stop this genocide? Because this genocide is not going to stop in Gaza only. Unfortunately, when you let the tyrant, let the oppressor do what he is doing, it does not make him weaker. It makes him stronger and stronger, and he becomes more and more arrogant, and it will continue to go at other places as well. So it's our time to understand where do we stand on the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Man ra'a minkum al-munkara falyughayyir biyadihi. Whosoever sees a munkar, stop it with the hand. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. If you don't have the capability of stopping with the hand, then do with the tongue. فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. And if you don't have the capability of doing with the tongue either, then feeling bad in your heart is the lowest level of iman, because the hadith says, وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. And this is the lowest level of iman, that we see a munkar, we see a evil, we see also a shar is going on, we just feel bad in our heart, and that's all we do. And that's the lowest level of iman. And think about it. If we don't even feel bad in our hearts, do we even have iman? Do we even have iman left? And that's what the question to be asked for all the people who have different capabilities, whether they have authority, whether they have the tongue that they can use, or the last one is to feel bad in your hearts. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم جزاكم الله خيرا. If there is any questions or comment about the subject I covered, inshallah I'll try to answer them. If not, we'll stop here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفر ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
It is that Umar, whose father was not happy with him, he always lost,
Yes.
couldn't care the